Thank you for joining us this wonderful day. It's a blessed day. Yes. We have Jean Salvi in the house. One and only. Today we are hosting Rwanda Tech Ecosystem, joined by two developers who are doing amazing stuff. And we want to talk about tech ecosystem in Rwanda. And it's yours truly, Michael Kimathi from Impact Masters Podcasts. This podcast is brought to you by Africa's Talking Podcasts. And we're telling African stories, recording their history, and ensuring that, we are covering the base in terms of what is happening in Africa when it comes to tech ecosystem. And I'm your host, Michael Kimathi. Call me MK anytime. And we are, you're telling developer stories. We are also covering what is happening in Africa. And today we're in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda. And we're joined by two amazing gurus, software engineers working for different companies here. We have Salvi from Bento, Africa, and Jean Tare from Consumer Tech. Welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're good?
Yeah. Good. I'm doing great.
How are you, Salvi?
I'm good.
We can't hear you. How are you, Salvi?
I'm doing good.
You're good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Welcome at our Africa's Talking Podcast and Impact Masters Podcasts. Today we are going to cover what is happening in Rwanda. And just to give you context, guys, I met Salvi back in 2018 as a student at which university was it?
It was AUCA African.
Sorry?
It's AUCA Rwanda.
AUCA Rwanda.
Yeah, sure.
So I normally do developer outreach. It's part of my purpose in life, where I reach out to different developers through the communities that we run. That is then was Nairobi community, which is now Africa Ruby community. And we try to share Ruby and Ruby on Rails, things to do with open source, agile, with the developers. And Salvi was part of that cohort. Which year were you then?
Like at university?
Yeah.
I think I was in second year.
Second year.
Yeah.
Right now is a straight up back-end engineers 4 years down the line. And to be honest, it's a guy like Salvi who kept me doing what I do. I've been doing this for the last 12 years. I know, people like Microsoft, people like Andela, people like MasterCard, people like Amazon, people like AWS have come to Africa, and they don't realize how much the tech leaders do. And it's amazing to know that Jean or Salvi took over me and now is a GDG leader, which is amazing again because he saw the potential of what it means to share your skills, to share your knowledge, and is organizing communities around Kigali and I think Rwanda in general. It's fascinating to know that this guy who actually by then didn't know what to do with what he is learning, he was also struggling to figure out which language should I go with, what do I do, how do I solve a problem? Because that day I think we talked about Ruby framework, open source, and agile. And maybe we'll be sharing how that helped you. But before that, guys, when we have a podcast here, we try to tell our story. And you can't tell a story of a man without knowing who they are. Yeah. So who are you guys? And I don't mean your names and your... So where were you born? How was that? The experience. Yeah.
Okay. I will start. Salvi.
Yeah.
As most of you know, I'm a software engineer at Bento.
Yeah.
And I was born and raised in Rwanda.
Yeah.
In northern part of Rwanda.
Yeah.
And
northern is close to Uganda, right?
Yep. That's close to Uganda, yeah.
Yeah.
So I normally started this software engineering, web development, and coding where I was at high school.
Yeah.
I didn't know much, like think you can do like properly, you can write program to print styles and you feel like a hero,
Yeah.
Most of people don't get like the logic into those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you're in secondary school and you can still figure it out. So
yeah.
They call you genius. That's how I started. That's how I got
in class 1,
Yeah.
In P1.
No. It's P4 I get.
At P4 you are writing
It's,
code.
S4. It's secondary 4, like where you start, like picking.
That is O level 4, right?
Yeah, O level 4. So and yeah, from there, if
Which language were you using then?
it's a C++.
C++. You could write and compile and trans. Next level kind of stuff. Yes, of course you are genius, no doubt.
Yeah, it was crazy. But,
Yeah.
but back then you can do math, economics, and computer science. That's what I did in secondary school.
Which we are jumping all over. Let's start chronologically. You were born in northern part of Rwanda. You went to school where?
Oh, I was born and raised in northern part of Rwanda. So I went to school
Which
in
part specifically?
northern part, like close to Uganda, Rudindo district.
Or Rudindo district.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it was a tough drive back then. Like there is not much of computer thing there.
Yeah.
I remember myself, like I have like this one posts I posted on Facebook. I remember.
Yeah. So there was, how old are you? Like, because now if you're posting on Facebook, it must be 2004 and...
No. I joined Facebook in 2011, I think.
11.
Yeah.
Okay.
And back then I posted, like 2012, I posted like, imagine programming a program to program a program.
Yes.
That was AI.
Yes.
But I didn't know like what a program is, but I saw like a funny image and I was like, this is fancy, like I just reposted. And if I reflect, right now I'm in AI field.
Yeah.
I do AI stuffs and I'm like, maybe was like Arian talking to me and something like that.
So you used to converse with aliens.
Yeah.
And what did they say to you? You must be a programmer.
Yeah, I guess so. But
which language do they speak? Now that we're talking about aliens.
Like whenever you have a thought, that means you're talking to alien.
Not God, huh?
Whatever you can call it. It's maybe alien or superpower. But something you don't really understand how to talk, how to operate.
But there was that conversation like, Chief, check this out. This is gonna be the next big thing.
It's been
Be curious enough. Learn this stuff. I'm imagining, Salvi. That kind of approach. I'm just kidding. So you start now getting interest into AI, like how stuff work. Did you start now writing NLPs, NLPs and, machine learning algorithms? How was that?
Like back then I didn't have like a computer at home.
Okay.
I didn't have it like anything at all digital.
Yeah.
It was just me. Back then I liked like drawing stuff. So all of my notebook, including some drawing instead of like, crass notes. That was crazy. But, like after joining the computer science course in S4, and I guess that's where I started like getting into tech, interested in programming.
Yeah.
That was interesting. That's where like, like you there is something like you can do something and you feel like, this is very much rewarding. Like the way this dopamine hits work, like you write a program, it learn.
Yeah.
You can celebrate the whole day.
Yeah. How do you celebrate?
Just get excited, like feel like an alien.
Yes.
Yeah.
You love aliens. Yeah. So that was in you said in high school, right?
Yeah, in high school.
Yeah. And which high school was this?
That was Saint Maria Adelaide.
Was it still in the northern part?
No, it's southern part
Okay.
near to Kigali.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice,
I know
nice.
that school.
You know the school?
It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you also go to school there?
No.
But yes,
No.
tell us about yourself,
Yeah.
and then we'll go back.
I was
sure.
raised in Kigali.
Oh, so you are
Kigali
ball,
boy.
town boy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was raised here all my life, and yeah, I actually started software engineering in 2016.
2016.
That's when I used to double with it in high school.
Yeah.
But it wasn't on the cast because we didn't necessarily have a laptop.
Yeah.
We had like computer labs
Yeah.
in school.
Mm-hmm.
But like by then, there weren't as many resources to learn or self-teach yourself.
Yeah.
But in high school I also did computer science
Yes.
as a field, so I had an understanding. And when you're at home, there's that one laptop in the house. You just get like one chance to look at it. But I didn't necessarily do anything with any programming. Anything related to programming or software engineering then.
Yeah.
I officially started learning and self-teaching myself because I went to business school.
Yeah.
I started self-teaching myself in 2016, like my first year in uni.
Yes.
And then it went on from there. Even after I finished uni, I just continued in that career. So I have a business degree, but
so your background is not in software engineering or computer science?
Academic background, no.
Interesting.
Especially in my bachelor's degree or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, very interesting stuff. So you guys have just run through everything within seconds.
No, not really.
And I understand why you are doing that. Because we are configured to undervalue our processes and history, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to know, which school did you go?
All right.
How was that experience?
Yeah.
Did you have good moments, bad moments? What can you remember even in your primary school, right?
Yeah.
High school, did you even good with girls? Did you write letters? What did you learn? Which subject did you take? Be chronological as possible.
All right.
Yes,
all right.
please.
So I went to my primary school. It's a really known school here. It's called Kigali Parents.
Is it a private school?
It's a private school. I went to all private schools.
All private school.
Yes.
Okay.
All private schools. So Kigali Parents, very strict school.
Okay. Is it missionary or something?
No, it's just very strict.
When you say very strict, do you get stroked? What makes you
strokes on strokes? And we used to get like 3 homeworks a night.
Every day.
Every single day. And they didn't even write, they didn't, like the math, especially for the math.
Yeah.
They didn't even have you write, they didn't write it on the chalkboard so that you copy down the questions. They used to give you papers. They give you like a 70 question math paper. They print it.
That's for a primary school kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to take it home and present it the next day.
Yeah. Every single day.
Yeah. So the math homework was probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
But come without doing all those questions.
Yeah.
And I used to come without doing all of them most often than not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very can I say it sharpened you in a way that it was militant of sorts. It felt like,
was it a military school?
Not necessarily, but the way we the kind of
the discipline and
discipline was top level. It produced.
But then you are thinking it's punishment.
Yeah, for us that's the whole point.
For us, who is us? You and your classmates.
Me and my colleagues. Were like, oh my God, we can't wait.
Yeah. At one point, did you think of quitting?
No, it wasn't an option then. You had to go to school. It was just part of life. You get used to it.
Okay.
And
it's a private school. Where are you going anyway? So
no, I mean it's one of the best schools. It was very hard to first of all, it was very competitive in itself.
Does it still exist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still there. Still quite there. So yeah. So in high school I went to another private school. It's called Riviera.
Oh, you scored really good and
you
went to another private school.
Yeah.
So do you get invited or how does it go?
Your parents. My parents could afford.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went to Riviera High School, but then it was quite also top school.
Yeah.
It was a new list of life. Weren't anything like Canes or anything.
Yeah.
We had a swimming pool. Life was good.
Oh my goodness.
Life was good.
Kids.
I'm so envious. Cool kids, eh?
Yeah,
But you said your name is full
Jim.
names. Jim
Tare.
Jim Nare. Yeah, I think you didn't say it when you started, but Jim, you had a privileged life.
Well,
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah. And it's
so,
okay.
it's
There's
not that
nothing
bad.
wrong with that.
You know, your parents struggle to
True.
kind of give you an okay life. So
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
The guy is so modest.
He's not.
An okay life.
Hey, listen, there are levels because there are people.
There are people
who are above you and whatever. So it's an ongoing.
Human
Because
being will never be.
I probably was like the poorest kid
in
at
that school.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
So that's.
Now you can imagine if Salvi was in that school.
Jesus, no.
You'd be like,
But
guys,
you know what?
sponsor me.
We used to have like students who were sponsored.
Oh, okay.
Or
They had scholarship?
they had scholarship. Like
But they
the
were smart.
school. Yes, the school used to give like
A few scholarships.
Yes,
I
a
think
few
that's
scholarships.
noble, given that maybe people are paying top dollar
Yeah.
for guys to come there, maybe set
We're
aside.
probably
to-
like
okay.
by then it was probably like maybe top 5 schools that pay
Top dollar.
in the country then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many people were sponsored per class?
Maybe like 2.
Out of how many?
In a class we used to be like 25.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that's one stream.
That's
Or
one
total
stream.
total streams is 25.
No.
How many streams
we
did
had
you have?
like two streams.
So they're like 50 students.
yes, 50 students.
4 of them-
Class 25, maybe 4 of them or
4 out of 50 are
Yeah.
it's fair enough.
yeah.
And the guys who got scholarship, did they progress? Did they
Yeah,
catch up? Or they were
Obviously,
frustrated?
they were really good. Obviously, some people come in with a mission, kind of
okay.
like they come on a mission of sorts, and then
What kind of mission?
you come in and you're not on the same wavelength in a sense. There's a certain level of seriousness that you have more than the other, and obviously you take some of these things a bit too serious, and then you obviously doing well in class and all that stuff. But I think a lot of people, even I think there are a lot of well-off kids who are really smart because they've had good education ever since they were young kids.
Through private school or
Through
just
private school.
public school?
No, private school.
Okay.
Yeah, public school here is still quite good.
I hear His Excellency Paul Kagame was like, he made a public school so good that even there was no good business for private school.
Oh, I would say that, but still, sometimes when you like a parent, sometimes private school is more of like the amenities, right? But
And
in terms
attention
of
to
like the
detail.
standards, you'll find that well-equipped labs are public schools.
Yes.
Well-equipped labs, some of these facilities,
Yeah.
you're more likely to get them in public schools, but they are obviously top private schools.
Yeah.
So
The best ones.
like the good private schools
Yeah.
that obviously offer a certain level of education that a normal public school wouldn't, and access to some of the different things,
Yeah.
like access to scholarships,
Yeah.
access to like people who come in and just talk about different things. It's
Yeah.
different curriculums, sometimes Cambridge and
Yeah.
some foreign other curriculums, but yeah.
International schools.
Yes.
So I mean, that's a very good context, given that and I think this is impressive that the government itself is taking initiative to make sure that they have the best amenities, so that people don't just go to private school because of the amenities. Impressive. So Salvi, when you hear that, what do you think? You're like, I want to be you chief for one day.
I would say when I grow up, but I'm already
grown up.
yes.
Yeah, so for you, it was more of like public school all the way.
Yeah, it was a public school, but for universities, private. I remember, there is a gap here in between, like university and high school.
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't take that.
How is that long gap?
It's like
It was a year.
Oh,
There
you
was a time it was
stay
like a year, whole
a
year.
whole year. Oh, there was a time. Now it's no longer.
It's no longer.
A few months and
So a
then
few
you go
months
to university.
uni, yes.
yeah.
And I think even in Kenya it's the same way. When I graduated, I had to stay for 2 years at home, waiting to be there. If you pass the exam, you are invited. Like, hey, yo, get a letter and all that, because you apply. Like when you do your KCSE, you say I want to join the. If I get, because you know your performance, you say I want to do law, or maybe I want to do computer science, I want to do software engineering, I want to do maybe agri tech. I don't know, whatever it is, you just fill out option 1, option 2, option 3. Now, once the result come out, they used to come out, I think in December, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, because right now it has changed. It's a bit quite some time. Then you wait for 2 years and you report in September. So remember, you finish around in November, say 2000. I finished in 2007. Then you wait for 2 years. So those 2 years now, it's your choice. So for me, I did driving. What else? I worked a bit. I taught other kids how to do stuff. I taught English in some technical school. I did a lot of community work. So you guys, 1 year, what did you do?
Like for me, I didn't take that 1 year gap. I just joined private university right away.
Just directly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was excited about software engineering. Like I was so interested in coding, but in the university, like I did whole year without coding anything.
You are learning theory.
Yes, not even.
Was
like
it computer science?
Theory. Yeah, it's software engineering.
Software engineering, okay.
But specifically, you spend the whole year studying like crazy courses like Bible, English. I was like, man.
You joined the theology university. What are you talking about? Which university was this again?
Yeah, but it's for Adventist stuff too.
Oh, so they put in some religious teachings. And it's good, by the way, for your coding. It's good. Coding is hard. You need some, I don't want to say religious connection, but you need some spiritual nourishment to be able to operate in that. Honestly, this is not a joke. I'm not pulling your leg. So, and you have coded, right?
Yeah.
There's some time that things don't work.
Yeah.
It's like artistic work. You write a song and then there are no more lines to write. Okay, this is a weird example. I don't know if any one of you has been an artist. Neither have I been an artist, but I used to write a lot of lyrics when I was in school. And this is funny because it was not targeted to be produced. But I was trying to get lines for ladies.
Oh.
You know how you go and you have a pickup line. And so I could listen to, artists and then figure out, so when you say this and then there's rhyme. And then you learn this in literature so you can connect both. Wow. So this is what we are learning in literature. That's what we're learning grammar. That's what we're learning English.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day. So there is a time that I'll sit there and give my own story, but never mind. So what I was trying to put across that artistic work or scientific stuff, sometimes you hit the wall. Not because you're not knowledgeable, but because sometimes you get mind block. Where you can't think further than that. And here you can confirm this. Most of the engineers and developers are more mind alert during at night for obvious reasons. It's more quiet, it's more peaceful, and there are less distractions. Is that true, by the way?
It's true.
Or you guys have been coding really nice at night and you think, we are engineers. These things work at night.
For me, I could do any time.
Anytime.
But you prefer at night, especially when you have like a pressing task, or you want to like really power through something. Like something has been frustrated. There was a times like something would frustrate me. I think there was a time when I was still like in Andela. Something would frustrate me, and then I would like.
Oh, so you're in Andela. I wanted to know how did you transition from business degree to. So it's Andela magic, eh?
Okay. Some of it.
Anyway, we'll get there. So Salvi, so you joined this Adventist university, right?
Yeah.
You're doing religion, and then you're like, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, I spent a whole year like trying to figure it out. This programming, is this like I was frustrated, but right away they started like some courses which are engineering related, so wasn't that bad, but I guess was frustrating. 1 year, like everyone have to pass that year, and I feel like if they, like sometimes remove those kind of crazy courses, that would hurt people. Just like to point out that because it was so frustrating to
You're telling
And you have to pass them.
someone who's
yeah,
listening,
you have to pass them. If you don't, you're not passing.
whoever in
That's
Awuka is listening.
Who is that?
He's trying to tell some people in Awuka to kind of slow down on those courses.
The religious ones.
The religious,
Or the spiritual ones.
the Bible courses. Or,
Yeah. I mean, curriculum is meant to be reviewed once in a while, and I think this is a good feedback. And I mean, if you look at it, depends with what you want to learn, but I think also, and I can't say this enough, so people should be spiritually nourished, especially when they have a task to build solutions, because remember, the solution you're building, they impact a lot of people. And you have seen people like Google saying don't be evil. They don't just say that for the sake of being cool. When you're not spiritually nourished, it's really hard for you to build something that actually could be used in good way.
Yeah.
Right? Remember, people even write software for nuclear plants, power plants. Imagine if someone added a bug there. They can wipe out a whole continent or whatever those nuclears can do. So these things might maybe not make sense because maybe you're not building maybe software at that scale. But with time, you start now. And I'm not saying even this from school point of view. As a person, you should be able to be spiritually nourished. And that's my own opinion, all right? You can take it or leave it.
Yeah, sure.
So, second year, that's when you started coding?
Yeah, that's when I started like some courses on coding. But back then I was already in community.
Which community had you joined? That's when we met actually, right?
Yeah, we met, and there was other communities like what does it called? Forup Africa.
Follow.
Yeah,
Follow actually was started by a consortium with Africa's Talking and that chief who is greeting us. You can't see him on the camera, but Graham is here. Shout out to Graham. They're the ones who are doing follow. So that's when now you started even seeing people who are already in the space, right?
Yeah, back then was Remy Muhide, he's Rwandan guy.
Yeah.
And that lady from Uganda, I think Lorna Mariak. And Solomon.
Solomon
Kitumba.
Itumba.
From Uganda.
Yeah, that was like when
They
I
used to
started.
come all the way
They
to
used to
Kigali.
come,
Nice.
Yeah, for Forup, yeah.
Nice. And where did Follow go? Because I just joined AT when Follow was, I don't know, does it still exist?
I think it does.
Yeah, but not as vibrant as it was.
Yeah, sure.
And I think this is something we need to figure out because I'm so passionate about communities, because I've seen the impact communities can bring. And I've been saying this more than enough time. People like Google should take care of communities, because communities are all about providing resources. They are volunteers. And they will do the magic for you. They will build a pipeline for you, right?
Yeah.
And actually, it doesn't have to be, because I sponsored this event, and that's our approach as Africa's Talking, and also because I just joined Africa's Talking last year. Building communities for over 12 years has shown me one thing. When I build a pipeline, right now you don't work for me, right? You work for another company. But if I didn't maybe share what I shared, I don't know. Maybe Follow-up would have shared, but either way, the company that has hired you, I don't know, you can tell us if this is true. If you just had your degree, do you think you'd be a back-end engineer at that company? Most probably.
Like they don't even ask those kind of
You understand? But the thing is, you join a community, you learn real stuff, you build real stuff, and over time, you are ready. By the time you graduate, you are ready to be hired. So the company listening out there, the company that will hear this, it's really worth it to invest in communities, because what I see over time is that a company comes up, they have these, KPI to fill or something they want to launch. They go hard on community, and once they launch it, they slow down or they just don't sponsor anymore.
Yeah.
A good example is GitHub. I knew GitHub as the most proponent for communities. They didn't care if you're doing developer, they could give you maybe a few dollars, a few t-shirts to buy pizza and drinks, and also to like give other developers who are in there. Hackathon, they participated, they sent out engineers all the way from San Francisco to Nairobi or wherever to come and share that knowledge. And guess what? That actually impacted the whole ecosystem as it is.
Yeah.
Right now, after our big boy, Microsoft, and no offense, I'll say the way it is, after they joined Microsoft, all that changed. They started doing things to do with diversity, and I'm like, now we have to put diversity in the picture to even you apply as for diversity. Microsoft, if you are listening, please, that's not the way you build a pipeline. Right now, I know they're hiring, they've been hiring in Africa, especially in Nairobi.
Yeah.
You need to change that culture. You need to be intentional with developers, and they don't have to work for you, right? Yeah. So that's the way I think about this. That said, you joined Folloop, and then how long?
When I met you, like Folloop wasn't like a community where you come in and come in again.
Yeah.
But like that's where you get to meet people, you get to understand like people's stories.
Yeah.
You get inspired.
Yeah.
And you start to be active, like online, like joining community on Twitter, following people who are meant to guide you in developer journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I started, I guess, in 2018.
Yeah.
I started to be like somehow serious into community stuff. Started to look into global community, not just Rwanda community.
Yeah.
And I think that's shaped my journey. Yeah. Because back then, that's when I joined Google Developer Student Club. Yeah. I was at my school. No one knew about it. I had no clue about it as well. But I was online. I was searching some stuff, and I found it. Like someone tweeted it, and I was like, okay, let me apply. Yeah. So after applying, I got accepted. I applied to Ghana, and I'm like, this is
great.
This is great. I get to meet Nigerian people. Nigerian.
Yeah.
I like
Nigerian energy.
Yeah, energy. I like their energy.
Yeah.
They have like their.
What is that energy like, by the way? People when they hear you, babies out there saying Nigeria. What is that?
Like Nigerian, there is a way like whenever you're around Nigerian, you can't be bored.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep talking. Their mind is always working.
Yeah.
You can see it. But for Rwandans, most of the time they are quiet.
They are reserved people. Yeah. Thinking solving serious problems with their mind. Anyway, but I also understand that we had a conversation earlier with Bwana Kweli, and I saw also the 1994 genocide played a key role on how even Rwandans perceive things, and it's called trauma. You guys are like second generation after that. The first. Were you born then? Most probably not.
No.
Yeah, so you guys actually, you have a bigger role to play, and you can see what His Excellency Paul Kagame is trying to do. And I'm saying this with all the love, and because I know you guys are leaders in your space, that don't take these things for granted. You need peace. I'm not saying this because peace is the only solution, but I'm saying you need peace for you to thrive as a country. You need to carry that momentum. And when I see you in 2018, I see you right now as a back-end engineer. I'm like, man, this is it. So that's it. I'm not good at advising people, so I won't go on with that. I understand that's why you guys are reserved, and it's understandable, and it's not a bad thing anyway. That's why we have people who are talkative, people who are hardworking, people who are just silent, people who are thinking about solution. Because even when you come to Kenya, by the way, we are not. And actually, I would say there was a time that there was this analogy of like, Nigerians are doing this, they are big in this, because if they do something small, they will be so loud. And I'll be going to Nigeria maybe and get a few engineers to talk to, or maybe have a conversation, and I'll understand even more. Maybe right now I'm coming from ignorance. And encourage developers and engineers to be more intentional. So if you want to build a fintech, sit down and write code. Talking about it won't write any code. Shouting about it won't solve any problem. But if you said sit down and write code, that is what will speak on your behalf. Guess what? 10 years down the line, it's working. As you know, it's something that most people are appreciating. You don't need to make a lot of noise around it. The only thing maybe you need to is sit down and record that story. How was that journey? Like you, Chief, I want to know. We meet in 2018. You now understand there is Ruby framework, Ruby on Rails. There is Ruby on the back end. There is, Agile. There is open source. How do you perceive that? There is entrepreneurship. I think even we shared about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
How did you process all that?
Like the good thing about community is like it's not like school. School they taught you like for you to do exam. Like it's more like you have to understand things or just like you have to know things.
Yes.
That they're teaching you about. But the community is like they are showing you around. They are showing you ways. They are showing you anything maybe you need to become a good developer or anything you want to become. And it's up to you to pick out like what you want to do, who you want to follow, who's your role model, which path are you going to take. You know? So that's the good thing about community. I guess like even more communities, like all the universities may take the same approach.
Yeah.
Not just teaching a person things they don't even want to learn.
Yeah.
But showing them like, you can do this, you can even do this and this and this. And right afterward, people are good at figuring out stuff by their own.
Yeah.
So if you figure out stuff by your own, like I'm going to learn maybe JavaScript, and you start learning it right away. If you learn it by yourself, you're not going to be competing with those people who learned it. Like you have to learn it, you have to do this assignment. So it's like community. It's something, driving the African tech ecosystem, because we don't have like MIT or some other bigger institution to teach you about programming and to the core level. So this community, I think, is making more impact other than any other institution or educational institution around Africa can do. Yeah. Because if I say it, like for me, I've led some communities like Developer Student Club. Yeah. I saw people from zero to like software engineer somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you come, you're asking me, why should I write code? Yeah. I haven't even read the first line of code, Yeah. And in 2 years, I can see you like you're at Irembo, you are, like at Tandera, you are doing some great jobs. And like there isn't even a guy I mentored back at Tandera. The guy is working remote. That's make me like proud. If like I can see someone who guided himself through community, and he can become like like a bigger person you can think of. It's even like like it's for me it's like fulfilling for me. Yeah. If I reflect on it, I'm like, maybe that's what I meant to be doing. Like while I still exist, see people, like making impact, and, like, and you're part of it, and you're like, okay, maybe every person need to be a key to someone to get to somewhere. Yeah. Like he need to be that kind of chain to, like helping each other and work together actually. Yeah. As African, as the whole world. If I say African, maybe I exclude other people, but like as like the whole, like human being. Yes. It's meant to be connected somehow, and like to be a chain of help and help and help. Yeah.
So you're saying community, what they do is bridge some of the gaps that exist in figuring out solutions, because programming is not supposed to be hard. You need to understand the underlying concept, but also apply them. And to some extent, community helps in both, as opposed to school. Because school, you just have one lecturer who will come and share slides or maybe teach you 2 or 3 way of solving solutions, and that's it. And even the reason why people even don't learn more, according to my experience through lecture, is that you find most people are more, or most schools are more in approach of passing exam as opposed to understanding the underlying concept, which is solving problems. And the more we start approaching it in a way that, yes, of course, you need to be tested on what you have learned and get certified, you need also to solve problems, real life problems. And even teaching itself can be in that approach. How are we solving problems, right? So in actual sense, that's how I see it. But I cannot insist enough on what you're saying, that communities play a key role in that. Chief,
Yep.
you don't know anything about community.
How do you know?
Oh, you had a community of swimmers.
Actually, you know what's funny?
I'm just kidding.
In uni,
Yes.
me and my friends
Yes.
started a community,
Ah.
and we're just teaching software engineering.
Yeah.
No, we're teaching just basics of web development, and some of us.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, one of our community members
Yeah.
went on to be in the first cohort
Yes.
of Mandela
Yes.
Kigali.
Yes.
And right now he's working remotely. And
Yeah. Yeah.
the first time he wrote a single line of code, I was on top. I was like I was looking at what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was a form of like building that community around you, and then just motivating each other.
Yeah.
And that's how we've been able to
learn.
learn.
And for you, by the way, it's very important because your background is not in computing or software engineering. So you finish your. Did you start learning this while in school or after?
Immediately as soon as I started my degree.
First year.
I
So
started.
you joined university and then
Yes.
you joined Andela, or how
No,
did it work?
I started Code Academy. I started using Code Academy
Or Code Academy online?
online.
Who paid for you?
No, it was free by then.
was free?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like they had some free
Courses.
free courses,
Ah.
and I started there. And then we used to like bootleg some courses, some Udemy courses.
Chiefs, if
Yes,
you
sir.
hear bootlegging here, it means piracy. Let's call it, it is.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
So that's how we used to bootleg, but these days I don't.
Yeah.
Udemy has sort of like, these days I pay.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, most of it I had like I had like big files
Yeah.
in my hard drive of like different courses and some of the different things I did.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that was effective, there's this one book I went through.
Hard copy or soft copy?
It was a soft copy, but I
Yeah.
printed it out.
You remember the name of the book?
Let me check. It's a Python book. It's I'll look it up and say
Python for Dummies.
Yeah, something like, no, it's not Python for Dummies. It's like 100 projects. Maybe it's like 100 Python projects.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
So you
they were
built-
like projects. They were
Okay.
like simple projects. So each page sort of like had projects. Each chapter
Yeah.
had like projects.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you
think
could build them step by
yes,
step and
yes,
see how
it
code
works.
come together.
And you basically, from the first chapter, it interacts the basics, and you just understand, even get comfortable with the command line,
Yeah.
build command line apps, then go on and start.
And this is in first year.
Yeah, this is in first
And
year.
you're doing business.
And I'm doing business.
So was it like strategic? I choose a course that I can pass while asleep, and also do these other
No,
things.
I just knew that I will do tech, but then I just got an opportunity to do like a business.
But who made that call? Like you should.
I
do
made that
business.
call because before I went to uni, I
Yeah.
had done a few projects as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I had done like 2 years actually
Ah.
as an entrepreneur.
And that was in high school.
Actually, after high school.
So you stayed for 2 years at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Like 2 years, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And during then, I had a few projects. I had an event. I started a design agency.
Ah, chief.
Yeah,
After this, you are going
we've
for
done
drinks,
things,
eh?
man. We've done. I started a design agency, and what happened is, and then through those, I learned a lot because I was working with people who are well in their careers, right?
They used to give you gig or you employed them?
I think I presented myself a bit more mature, and then it felt like they were my peers, and we started off well, and they used to just have like they just bring me on as a little brother, but I used to really work hard. Just like that strong work ethic.
Yeah.
So I basically understood, and I really am thankful for that experience, because it just kind of gave me a certain purpose.
Yeah.
When you're looking at people well in their careers, you just get inspired about some of what they do.
Like, how would it be that?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and one of my good friends, even up to now, very good at design. The best I think I've seen.
Can we talk to him before I leave?
Yeah, I mean, I can put you in contact. Very good. The best.
We'd like to,
we've had.
because I think also design plays a key role in software engineering, right?
Yeah.
Because writing code alone doesn't present something that humans can consume, right?
And
you also backend or
full stack.
Okay.
Full stack.
Okay.
So I looked at what he was doing and how excellent he was at what he was doing, and I was like, I can't just be excellent at making PowerPoints. Right?
You are good at making PowerPoints and presenting those ideas.
Yes, I can't just be excellent about doing PowerPoints and talking. I can talk. I can You
can present. Yeah,
you are
a businessman, so
So I felt like software engineering was a tangible skill.
Yeah.
That I felt like I could do.
Yeah.
Because even in high school, I got introduced to it because I did a computer science in my A level.
Yes.
So I felt like I knew that I could do it.
Yeah.
But I still wanted to still understand business and the inner workings of business.
Yeah. So,
and generally, that's my whole career. That's what I want to dedicate my career. It's as much as I could be the best software engineer, but I also want to be able to bridge business and software engineering.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's how I am here now.
So, did you graduate with your business?
Yes.
Yeah, but while doing coding.
Yeah.
Do you think business helped you understand how to package solutions to be palatable to the users?
Most definitely.
Okay.
You see, and that's one thing I realized about your typical software engineer.
Yes.
Your typical software engineer is an engineer.
Yes.
That's it. He's an engineer.
What does that mean?
That means that they see a task, they execute it, end of story. Now,
is it a task or solution or problem? They provide a solution.
Listen, it's a problem. You have like a list of tickets to work on. You have a list of tickets to work on.
Yes. Yeah, tickets.
Jira tickets.
Oh my goodness.
You'll have a list of tickets to work on.
Yeah.
You complete them.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yes.
And that's the end of it as a software engineer. But like when you're talking about solutions, when you're building a solution, there's so much you have to consider. And obviously you have to consider the people you're doing it.
Who will be using it?
What kind of user are we talking about? Where is the technology now? Are there any technologies that look like what you want to do? Are there technologies that could replace what you want to do? Are there technologies that could they do not necessarily have to be the same,
Yeah.
but they might have the same function essentially.
Yeah.
And it could, let's say, run the risk of having your solution become irrelevant before it's even practical.
Yeah.
So there's a certain level of practicality that business shows you. Design thinking, thinking about like the person you're creating it for.
Yes.
And I think that's just something that I that's on my side.
Yeah.
That's going to continue grow, and
Yeah.
that's how I plan to position myself.
Yeah.
Mainly because as much as I've done business, I can also go on the other side and sit down and write
Yeah.
write code
Yeah.
and do those tickets.
Yeah.
But there's an underlying understanding
Yeah.
of why is this
Yeah.
why is this
Important, yeah.
feature, why is this important, and that added level of understanding just I feel like it gives you but that's my opinion. I feel it gives you an edge.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, after you build the product, you have to present it in one way or the other to people who will use it, or people who will invest in it, or even people who will test it even before it's fully fledged. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, Salvi, for you, it was more like community. You're still doing community even after getting a job. And what Chief is saying is that also, as much as you're not maybe typical community like you did, he was also inspired by, without knowing by the guys who are peers and he could be challenged by them. Do you feel also being in a community and finding someone who can do something, it gives you some energy to also try it and know that it's doable? And you have confidence, if I'm stuck, I can reach out to so-and-so and ask if this is the right way to do it.
Yeah, like for me, back in Ghana, I met a guy, it's Robert Sean, talking about machine learning.
Yeah.
And I was like, these machine learning things, you know, like was pretty much advanced for me, you know, like some people can talk that like the way machine can recognize Kenya, Rwanda was like, that's impossible. Yeah, so I went on and community again, and there is this Facebook developer cycles happening, and they're offering some scholarship. Yeah, you know, the city scholarship for deep learning. There was a challenge. I did it, and I passed, and they gave me a scholarship, and I did deep learning junior nano degree from there.
So you also took nano degree. Oh, okay.
I have like 5 nano degrees now.
Chief, which one and which one?
Deep learning, algorithm and data structure, AI, artificial intelligence, and deep reinforcement learning. And right now, I think I'm doing this self-driving car.
And all of them you pass.
Yeah, you have to pass.
Yeah, for you to do another.
No, it's like the nano degrees. They are pretty hard.
Yeah, I know.
As you can
I've checked them out, so. It's really quite impressive to have done 5.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do...
So what's the secret of passing before we are left here wondering, should I take nano degree?
Secret of passing nano degrees. For me, I do the Audacity ones. Yeah. So they are really hard, I know, but, you know, like you have to keep trying because there is like kind of Audacity community as well. Yeah. They have like kind of community where you can post a problem and, you know, people help you solve it. Yeah. Also, if you submit like some sort of projects in the nano degrees, they provide the feedback for you. Yes. You understand? It's like community way of solving problem. It's not like you are going to a lecture and they give you 0 and you are already failed. That approach is, I think it works for me. Yeah. But for university one, doesn't really work.
Oh yeah? Yeah. So you'd rather take these nano degrees?
Yeah, even.
But what do you think they get it right in terms of how they teach, in terms of the curriculum? What do you think they get right? That universities can learn from? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, for nano degrees, I think they focus on, you know, like making you understanding the core concept of things. Yeah. And then they make sure they challenge you to the project which are more exciting and
so you build something
at the same time.
Yeah.
and from there you have a community to help you out.
I see. Uh-huh.
But for university, it's like inverse. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
for university, like they present you some slides. They give you some, like books written by someone and someone.
Yeah.
And later on afterwards, you have to you have to kind of, like pass the exam.
Yeah.
And the exam most likely is like past paper or something like that, which is something which is not innovative, not
Yeah. It's
exciting
not
to
exactly.
work
Yeah.
on. Yeah,
And
so
it's not also up to date.
yeah, not after yeah. So it's really challenging for universities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. So, in that case, and I think also the engineers who design nano degrees, most of them, they have a background in either lecturers or they have written these books that we learn for programming. So they understand the concept and how it's changing. And that's why you find most of the books that we read, even from O'Reilly, they are revised. There are a couple of editions. And the reason why they do that is because they understand technology changes very fast. So at least every year you find Python has been upgraded, or if there is Python 3 that has come out, there will be books and materials to show you what has changed, why it has changed, with accompanying projects. So do you think lecturers are way underpaid to be motivated enough to do all this?
Yeah, most of them I think they are way underpaid.
Yeah.
And most of them I think they are not really underpaid because like even them they know like they don't have those much skills to share with the students.
Yeah.
So saying underpaid is like somehow like upgrading their skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think their lecturers, the model is like if the university can get the best people
Yeah.
to teach
Yeah.
and pay them enough,
Yeah.
that will be enough for
So we start with
students.
the best people.
Yeah, the best people.
Mm-hmm.
Not just, like dragging someone to teach me big data.
Yeah,
Without
because they
knowing.
got a first class.
And he's presenting me NumPy from free code point, something like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but if you go to Audacity,
Yeah.
someone who is teaching NumPy is the one who created it.
Yeah. But now you see, you have to be realistic. These others cannot teach all universities, right? Practically, most probably they do this at their home country or
Yeah.
where they reside, right? So generally, it will make sense also if and I don't want to talk about other places, but African universities, and I'm saying this with a lot of love and humility. I have seen lecturers who have written a lot of good research, but they don't follow it up to make it palatable, even in other institutions.
Yeah.
Because even when you study classic example of Kigali and the development that has happened in 22 years, do you know that's a whole book that people can learn and even build better Irembo? You might think maybe Irembo is the best solution, but maybe someone can write a book how to build Irembo version 2, maybe with the AI, or maybe with the mobile integration.
Have you used it?
I hear is if you are really good in engineering, that's where you get hired. Is that?
No. Yeah, but have you used the Rainbow as a solution? Like,
No, I'm not sure. Maybe
have you
indirectly.
looked at the website?
No.
It's pretty cool.
Yes.
It's a pretty cool.
It's good, right?
It's a pretty
But
cool
yeah,
solution.
the AI thing, I think
Yeah.
that's something to think about.
No, I'm saying this is just a simple example, like how can we even develop, because a book is taking a use case and then building on it to show what they have implemented well and what can be improved, because with software engineering, nothing is perfect and complete.
Yeah.
And also given that technology is changing very fast, you might find maybe things that you're finding cool right now, 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
If they don't change, they will be obsolete. And you have seen a lot of solutions become obsolete. Big billion companies just die because they don't catch up to the technology.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean those people are not smart. It just means maybe there was some breakdown somewhere in terms of decision making or how people perceive things, and it just dies.
Yeah.
So we can learn from that as Africans and try to adopt. And if you have young minds like you thinking that way, then it's easier, even when you're working to enact change from that level. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the reason why I see even not only in Africa, but even in the developed world, is that they depend so much on the I don't want to sound stereotypical, but on the older guys who maybe started the company. But remember, even these guys over time, they are okay. So they don't need to think ahead of time. A good example would be Microsoft, right? You see, they took Satya Nadella's mindset and they say, Chief, guide us. Microsoft is changing over time. The Microsoft, people knew in 2000s, it's actually more advanced.
Yeah.
There have been radical changes. There have been, acquisitions that actually has helped them. I don't know, but I have my own personal opinion around that. And I wish maybe Satya, when I come to US or maybe when you come to Africa, I'm based in Nairobi, we can sit down and have a conversation and even validate some of the things and decisions that are made across. Because at the end of the day, we all have to win. It doesn't mean because US is winning, Africa can't, Europe is winning, or even one country in Africa. You understand?
It's not a zero-sum game.
Exactly. You have put it well.
Yeah.
So that's my mindset. Because with this now, you can say, I'm learning computer science, but I'm using some of Irembo's use case to understand. You can walk to Irembo's office and do a research and report on that research or build a better solution and pitch it back to Irembo, right? And that's why Silicon Valley is always evolving, if you don't know. So most of the schools like Stanford, Berkeley, they are around some of these startups and they see some of these solutions. And some of them, they can walk to those offices and ask questions and get answers. So that's just me giving my opinion. But also, again, government need to invest because with research comes investment.
Yeah.
So given that most of the learning institutions don't have much of revenue, like, proper companies, I think the thing that could help us is to also invest in research that I'm sure you did a project before you graduated. And most of those projects are mind-changing. By the time you're getting first class, of course, professor sat down and this one could be a business.
Yeah.
So how are we using some of these projects? There's masters, there's PhDs. And that way now we build our learning ecosystem plus our day-to-day solutions.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think I was talking about it with a friend. I think he said something profound, and I felt like it's something. It's related to what you were saying.
Yeah.
He said like a lot of people concentrate on trying to build a whole solution for the whole ecosystem, but there are components.
Yeah.
Of let's say in the fintech.
Yeah.
In the fintech space.
Yes.
In obviously in banking or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many components. You don't have to build a whole maybe let's say if you're trying to take out like some banks, you don't have to hold a whole core banking system.
Yeah.
You can build a component.
Yes.
I think it's we talked about one of those issues because they talked about there's this company called Mono and they do KYC.
Yes.
Now KYC is a very important thing for the bank. It's know your customer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But then most of the time in our current industry, this is a problem. If you're listening and you want to build a solution, you can build a solution around KYC.
Yeah.
If maybe Mono does not come or whatever.
Yeah.
So the whole point is this: KYC means know your customer.
Yeah.
Now, each bank creates a profile, builds a profile on a customer.
Yeah.
But why does each bank have to build a profile on you when you're one person?
Yeah.
If let's say you have a bank in Equity and you have a bank in KCB and you have a bank account in let's say another bank.
Yeah.
Why do you have to have different profiles in all those different banks?
Yeah.
Why couldn't there be a unified system that you as a customer you can allow banks to get access to your information, and then maybe you immediately eligible for, let's say, loans and some of these different things because of your track record, because the KYC a bank decides on giving you a loan because of the profile you currently have.
Yeah, and the history. Yeah.
And that's applicable to not just only customers, but small, medium enterprises, which are notoriously bad at getting loans, especially in our current system. They are not paid attention to, especially SMEs.
Yeah.
In terms of loans, very few get loans, and a lot of them, I think, struggle, especially with liquidity and maybe delayed payments, and maybe they need quick cash and some of these different. So that's just one component, right?
Yes.
But on the other side is sometimes maybe it feels like me or someone else on the road, we don't know these problems.
Yeah.
We don't have access to some of these different informations, and I think maybe that's where community could also help.
Yeah.
If these companies or these institutions, especially because I know there are a lot of problems and issues that could be solved from a technological point of view in the government, in the government space, in the public space, and in the private sector.
Yeah.
Those two, I think the people in charge should talk about some of these problems in spaces that would allow innovation to happen.
Yeah.
Should talk about them, but also, as you said, find ways to sponsor them, fund them, hackathons, some of these different things.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's how innovation grows through communities.
True. And I think you've brought by the way, you have spoken like a full stack engineer. The component example and all that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But just to put things into context, I think things should be more practical and continuously tested, so that we don't lose the edge over time. When the technology changes, we are up to date, right? Yeah. And if one thing breaks, as you're saying, not everything that breaks, right? But Chief, how did you like transition, to job and still continue doing community work? And the reason why I'm asking this, I have a few friends who, when they get a job, that was like community was the means to an end. So that's the end of them. You'll never see them until they're jobless or something happens or they need to change their job.
Yeah, for me, the one point is like community is where you find like-minded people who can challenge you, and like you can envy, like those people who give you like passion to do something.
Yeah.
And if you're in community, also like sharing is, like you learn much while you share.
Yeah.
If I'm there presenting neural networks,
sometimes
I feel like I don't understand most of it, but like as I keep sharing it, I get a glimpse of
you're able to learn, right?
Neural network, because people keep asking me some challenging question, and like it's time for me to reflect on them and go do some research on it. So for me, community has been like something helped me learning through my learning journey. Also keeping in mind that there is someone out there who needs maybe what community is doing as well. For me, because I bootstrapped from community, that's where I started my longer journey. That's where I get like a good path to pass through.
Yes.
That's why I meet like people who really guided me through the journey. That's where I'm still meeting people who are very important to me. So I think community, people downgrade it at some point. Mostly in Rwanda. But I think for me, community must be something the government must focus on. Really have like a big focus on community, because there are so many people who want to share what they know for free.
Yes.
And if you are sharing something for free, there is no lie in it. Like it's something like full of, like you're sharing something because you want to share it.
That is close to your heart and it will maybe help someone.
And it's fulfilling for some people, like helping someone and, see people getting a job or getting into the, like, whatever the path they want through community. So I think for me, community must be one way of driving Africa, through Silicon Valley, as you were saying. Like, I was asking myself, this question. You say like in Silicon Valley, people can knock on your door asking you some sort of kind of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in this current university, I have a feeling is like, they are getting pressured for numbers of people graduate.
Yeah, it's more about numbers.
Yeah, and like most of the time, I have a feeling there is no such thing as passion in towards most people than in undergrads.
Yeah.
You learn something and you're like, okay, I did this and I did this. I have a degree.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Maybe it will help me to get a master's. It will help me to get a job or something like that. But it's not something you're passionate about. But let me tell you, if you're in community, maybe you meet someone who is, like, what I'm saying, like, is take community. There is this day first, I was trying to drag one girl. I think he's really great in podcasts. It's called Sarah Modongi. Unfortunately, she didn't reply to me, but, like, I was trying to get her to stage because I feel like she has more potential, and like it's a very good thing to meet the community, to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like to participate in those kind of community and like get a glimpse, because at Google you see people are leading community. Yeah. People, are doing some jobs.
And they're senior engineers, some of them. Yeah.
Senior engineers, and like I feel like maybe it's one very big praise she deserved there. Yeah. If she joined community, share and get to know people, it's those are some kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that feeling keep pressure me for if I see potential in someone,
Yeah.
If you join community, maybe they will help you figure out what it is, because most of the time you are in your head, you are doing stuff, but you don't know what you are doing exactly. But if you join community, people have their way of seeing potential in you.
Yes.
Someone can come and say, yo, let's do this. Let's do this company.
Yeah.
Let's do, let's start this project.
Yeah.
And from there you can become Elon Musk, whatever, Marcus Zuckerberg.
By the way, Elon Musk is from Africa, you know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And many more other solutions that are coming up. So it's, sometimes we might be talking about this, and maybe 5 years from now, I'm not a prophet or anything, but you'll see a lot of change in now, even the quality of companies that are coming from this ecosystem. And that's why I'll ask this, Chief. You are doing this Udacity Code Academy, right? And up to what point did you now decide I'm joining Andela, or I'm applying to join Andela?
So I joined, I applied to join Andela, I think like a few months, because I started work after uni. I started working on a startup. I started a startup, founded a startup.
What was the name of the startup?
It was called Fikia.
Like reach out?
Yes. Now
Fikia. Hey, that's what it means.
Yeah.
It means that. You didn't know?
I don't know Swahili.
At all?
I know some words.
Like what do you know? Yeah, about Swahili.
Jambo.
Jambo is like greetings,
eh? In Kenya Airways, Jambo is that.
you used to read it?
No, the service keeps saying it, Jambo. Reaching Kigali, stuff like that.
Oh, so you knew these are greetings.
Yeah.
What else do you know?
It's like normal Swahili people speak in Kinyarwanda, the sawa.
Okay. Sawa.
But I don't know much Swahili, so. But
okay.
I hope to get to Kenya.
No, I mean you can learn Swahili is the widely spoken language in Africa.
Yeah.
Like if you go down south, they speak Swahili.
Mozambique.
You go to DRC, I think most of the parties speak Swahili.
Yeah.
I think even it's taught even abroad. So
yeah,
I think I would say confidently it's a more widely spoken African language, and it's really good because it's easy to learn. And if you are Bantu, which Rwandese, most of them are.
Yeah.
It's easy to learn because even you guys, when you speak Rwandese, I can relate some of things. Though I can't speak it as you or join two words to make a sentence, I can figure out what is happening.
Yeah.
So please, by all means. Yeah. And how did you come up with that word, by the way?
So we wanted to create. So I'll just talk about the idea and what we wanted to execute.
Yeah.
So we wanted to execute a platform
Yeah.
that enables entrepreneurs, that enables businesses to get information about industries, right?
Yeah.
So as a country like Rwanda, we receive a lot of like foreign investments, a lot of investors, a lot
Yeah.
of entrepreneurs are curious about the country,
Yeah.
but they obviously don't have a layout of the land in terms of like opportunities, information, data on the reports, and some of these different critical information about certain sectors. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say the agriculture sector. Let's say you go and do something on coffee.
Yeah.
And let's say you want to know about coffee in the country.
Yeah.
It's very hard for you to guide. If I
True.
told you right now to go and understand the coffee landscape in the country or even in the region,
Yeah.
it would be very hard for
True.
you to get that information.
I agree with you.
So
Yeah.
and
that's not only in Rwanda.
yeah.
In any ecosystem you go, it's really hard if you're an investor to know.
So
If
usually,
I want to invest
yeah.
in coffee, where do
Yeah.
I start?
Usually we have like, and which is funny because we have a lot of management consultant companies who do a lot of research and they collect a lot of information on general industries and different sectors.
Yeah.
So usually the World Bank funds a lot of research on that.
Yeah.
Some private institutions.
KPMG, PwC,
McKinsey.
IMF, McKinsey.
So all these companies usually
even
come
government
in.
itself.
Yes, even government itself, and a lot of that information is public. Sometimes a lot of information it could be monetized in other ways, and the whole point was to create a platform to enable, first of all, the monetization of that and telling the stories for the different sectors. So I did that for a year. But I was straight out of high school. I had a little bit of, straight out of uni. I had a little bit of an experience still trying to just become a professional, just get that a few years under me. As a professional engineer, I can't talk about some of the projects if I haven't worked in institutions and seen how some of these things work, and that's how I joined Andela.
So this didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't pan out per se, but I had raised a good amount.
Wait a minute, how much did you raise?
It wasn't that bad, by then it was like 10K.
How much? 10. 10K is good money for fresh graduate.
Yeah.
So you applied for Andela, or how?
Yeah,
how was that process?
so I was encouraged by one of my friends.
Which year was this?
That was 2019.
2019.
Yeah, something like that.
So you applied, you got through the interview, and then you joined as a consultant or as a student?
No, as an engineer.
As an engineer.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And we used to do full stack still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Andela, you do full stack.
Oh, most of the gigs
do
were full stack. Okay.
You do full stack, so you do back end and front end.
Okay.
After that, I think
that was JS, right? Node,
React. Node, React, and all that.
Okay. Not Java.
Not Java.
Not Scala.
No.
It's a point I'm making here. But it's all right. Full stack engineers. Yeah.
So then I think a few months later I joined Bank of Kigali.
So how long did you stay at?
Like 8 months or so.
8 months, yeah.
I joined Bank of Kigali.
Yes, that is government owned, right?
Partially. It's owned by RSSB, which is a Social Security Board.
Okay.
Rwanda Social Security Board. It's public-private. It's a public-private
public partnership. Okay.
Yes, public-private.
They call it PPP.
Yes, public-private partnership.
Yeah.
So
you guys are talking business.
So
you're boring Salvi with the business conversation, but it's okay. No worries, Salvi. We'll learn at one or two things.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been there for 2 years. I was there for 2 years, and yeah.
So you're still there, back of?
No.
Okay.
So I left a few.
Why did
few
you leave,
weeks
by the
ago.
way?
It was 2 years and
Contract?
No, I just felt like I needed to take the next step.
So you're not
career.
growing there?
Well, I reached a point where I felt like this is it, and
You've
I
done enough.
want more responsibility. The current role.
In other words, you are tired of changing color of a button.
Some of the things, yes, but like generally, I felt like I had to take the next step, and I felt like
Chief is you want to sound diplomatic.
Yes, obviously.
Right.
Hey, you never know. But what I'm saying
But
is,
let's say this,
I wanted to be a tech lead.
I
wanted to be a tech lead.
Okay.
And that was my ambition. And I felt like I got an opportunity to become a tech lead.
Yeah.
In another
company.
Yeah. Additionally, it was remote.
Yeah.
It was a remote, and I wanted to just build that portfolio.
Yeah.
Continue building my career as a global software engineer.
Yeah.
And I think that just made sense for me at that point, because obviously.
Why do you think building that portfolio is important for any engineer who is listening?
I think if you want to work on a global scale, especially because you grow.
Yeah.
You grow.
Growing means you become better.
You become a better programmer. Oh, guaranteed. Yeah. You become a better programmer because, first of all, let alone you're working on with different cultures.
Yeah.
The whole interacting of it.
Yeah.
But generally, the standards are quite different.
Yeah.
The expectations and some of these things are quite different from what you would get on the current local market. Well, the Rwandan ecosystem has come so far, but obviously, if you work in places like Germany, you work in places like the UK, and you're working in these proper startups, these proper well-funded startups.
I knew you'll say that proper has to be followed by funded. Okay.
Well-funded, because obviously, so there's a certain level of excellence that you'll get.
Not the payment.
The payment is also nice. It's also it's also nice, but you also want to test yourself on a global scale.
Yes,
you really do.
Yes.
You can't just be limited to your local area
ecosystem.
I want to work in Kenya. I want to work in Uganda, anywhere. Yeah. So you have to have that pedigree of working on different projects across.
I went to Japan.
Yeah, please.
I went to Japan.
Yes.
Yeah. Like this guy went to Japan,
What's that?
He went to Japan.
What is Japan?
You don't know Japan?
No.
Like moving abroad. Or
like
that. Or you call it Japa?
Like it's a Nigerian style of.
Hey, we're not Nigerian.
Do I look like Rwandan?
Salvi. Yeah. So I mean, and this is something that I've been so passionate about, and it's just my personal opinion. I strongly believe that we can create better continent than where we want to Japa. And we have to be very patient. Those guys, what you see today, they created over 100 of years, one stone at a time. And I would like to use Kigali. So Kigali is not, I will not say it's way out of, blown up in terms of development, the aesthetics, or even economically, but it's organized.
Yes.
It's discipline. Even speeding, Kagame came up with a proper solution that actually works. Cleanness, he came up with proper solution that works. During COVID, he implemented methods that works. You understand? And we can learn a lot from that. And you guys are lucky to be here. You might find it a bit, strict and, boring and tight. But when systems work, it's easier to thrive. Maybe
Yeah.
the chief here is working remotely. He can find value for the money he's getting and invest here and build something that actually thrives.
Yep.
Because he knows if I build a business, the tax is clear. They are business who use my solutions, and it's easy to do business. And security actually is guaranteed. I was wondering why people close shops here at 10. Because you can walk virtually anywhere here at any time and feel secure, because people call it police state, but I look at it on the positive side, that at least you feel secure to walk.
Secure. You
whatever
can walk
time.
at night. And
But if you go, Nairobi is my city. There are some places you can't go at a certain time. The lighting is not that great. Sometime you find that you're not sure if you'll be taxed by KRA, which is Kenya Revenue Authority, or you'll be taxed by the policeman, or you'll be taxed by the thieves or cartels. There are all these various gangs or, organizations that you're not sure which one will take you down. Also, some of the regulations are not really, entrepreneur or developer friendly. Like the other day, they are suggesting, and I think they passed it as a law, that for you to work as a developer, you have to be certified again, and you have graduated. You see what I'm talking about? They introduced tax if you're working remotely and all this. And it's good to pay tax because it develops the country. But you need to see where this tax is developing. So if I pay tax here in Rwanda, I know if I see a tarmac that is well made, well lit, well painted, with clear instruction and all that, I'm sure if I'm paying 20% of my tax, I see where it's going.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
But the other places you can't say that. Even in Nigeria here, the traffic is chaotic. You spend 4 hours to go to the office, 4 hours to come back. And imagine a country like Nigeria, where they have 100 million people. Maybe, is it 300 million?
Yeah.
300 million.
Yeah.
That's quite human capacity. You're staring at a full-blown, which is self-sustainable economy. You understand? So we just need systems to work, number one. Number two, we need also to be leaders, because tomorrow Kagame maybe is getting old. You might be Kagame the next day. What do you learn from this so that your generation or your colleagues are not, you call it what? Japa? They're not planning. You understand? They're not planning to do that. And that has also created a problem in Nigeria.
Yeah,
They can't get visas most of the places.
Yeah.
And you can't blame them, because these are young, innovative, angry, young guys who want to go out there and do stuff.
Yes.
But that's aside. I think I made a point.
yeah.
Chief, you have been in the ecosystem at least for 4 years since I knew you. You're now a proper back-end engineer. What do you think we can do more to grow this Rwandan tech ecosystem?
Yeah, for tech ecosystem, we need more community.
Yeah.
We need more apprenticeship programs.
Yeah.
If I say apprenticeship, like you can get software engineering degree,
Yeah.
and you still don't know how to code.
True.
That's really challenging. But if you go to Andeda,
Yeah.
you have to code at certain point.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have like this apprenticeship program.
Yeah.
So for you to be a software engineer or to be in tech,
Yeah.
you need to be really passionate about it. So,
Yeah.
and a better place to find those people are through communities, events, and apprenticeships,
Hackathons,
workshops. So if those companies who are claiming to be in tech or in tech, they can invest in those kind of events.
Yeah.
If I see BK, Irembo, and
What is
other-
CBK?
BK is a Bank of Kigali.
Okay.
I see Indian other startups, they're making it in North Kent.
Yeah.
And they come together, then they host maybe monthly
Hackathons, yeah.
events, as we do on Google developer groups.
Yeah.
Google developer
Or as you do
groups.
at Africa's Talking.
Africa's
Yeah.
talking as you guys are doing it. So it's like it can drive people from one place to another
Yeah.
without dragging people to universities to spend 4 years, and to come out for nothing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like there are so many. There are some startup trying to do it as their business model.
Yeah.
But I think this needs to be like a community thing,
Yeah.
not a startup model.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting a startup and you're like, I'm helping people graduate
Yeah.
maybe to get to a job,
Yeah.
and you are raising money for that and those kind of stuff. You need to be that community guy.
Yeah.
You need to invest more into community
Yeah.
other than bringing people to you.
Yeah.
I find it really tricky to do because like community has been helping for me
Yeah.
and for many other people I know.
Yeah.
I can even testify.
Yeah.
Some people are at Google, some people are at like Microsoft.
Yeah.
And if you see them like 4 years from now,
Yeah.
like before 4 years back,
Yeah.
it's like they were like non-vis, like they are asking some pretty dumb question. What is HTML?
Yeah.
How can I write code? What is coding compiler or something like that?
Yeah.
And most of the time you're like, if we have like those kind of community, vibrant community, if
Yeah.
you see communities in Lagos,
Yeah.
they are so vibrant. If you see communities in Nairobi,
Yeah.
so vibrant, people attend, like it's like you see passionate people there.
Yeah.
If we can have the same thing in Kigali,
Yeah.
vibrant tech community, helping each other,
Yeah.
and we see a lot of startups coming to pick passionate people from the community,
Yeah.
not just universities or hiring people elsewhere,
Yeah.
but come into community, invest in community,
Yeah.
invest in people learning, then pick people from there, give them internship.
Yeah.
We can have like a vibrant tech ecosystem in Rwanda throughout that way. I think that's one of my biggest challenge I gave to those kind of tech startup and companies here in Kigali.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It takes both of us to do it,
Yeah.
but I'm sure we can get there. Yeah.
True. So what's the future of Rwanda tech ecosystem?
I think the future is bright in terms of the talent is starting to, become abundant.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah.
Then the other thing I'm enjoying seeing a lot of startups get funded
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And that's important because all these things need money.
True.
All these things need money. You cannot there are no two ways around it.
You have spoken like a businessman.
Yes. And as someone who knows, who has been through startups,
True,
through struggle and all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's important, even if you're a startup, in as little capacity as you can,
Yeah.
have events, especially if your core business operations is also about technology. You have
Yeah.
a tech team.
Yeah.
If you have software engineers, have a community.
Yes.
And I think that would greatly improve just the general buzz around the town in terms of if you have events, if you have people coming together.
Yeah.
Talk, when the more people come together, the more ideas are shared, and the more you get innovation.
Yeah.
And I bet a lot of great companies were built out of communities.
True.
And people coming
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
and doing that. So I think it's just important, and I think I would like to stress. I commend you from coming all the way from Kenya.
Yeah.
I'm going to Kenya tomorrow myself.
Yes, you told me that.
Yeah, and I've been going there like probably every month for most of this year.
Yeah.
And obviously, I just enjoy that experience of going there and seeing what is happening there.
Yeah.
And I think as we are now integrating as an East African community,
And DRC has just joined.
it's an incredible, and there's a lot of opportunities in DRC.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity to really capitalize on the community things, and we just need to fix small things like flights.
Yeah.
Flight costs.
True. I agree with you.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. That's not a joke, by the way. It's very
bruh,
serious.
Listen.
Yeah.
Kenya
Some of our engineers
listen.
that will be joining us on Thursday, until now they're not here because of the same
yeah,
challenge.
listen. We need to fix
Yeah.
prices. They need to be domestic flights. and lower the prices greatly.
Yes,
Because
yes.
if we can integrate in a way that you have, because in itself, Kigali as a community
Yeah.
will thrive if it integrates
But you
with
can drive
Nairobi.
through the border, so.
Yes, we can drive
Actually,
through the border. But
fun fact, you
yes.
know, I was to drive. This is how I'm committed.
Yes.
And I'm saying this with a lot of humility.
Yeah.
So when I set up an event, I don't cancel. This chief know, right?
Yeah.
Last time we came here by bus when I think I told you
That's
that.
dedication right there.
This event, I was to come here, come rain, come sunshine.
Yeah.
Right?
Whether it's
I was to drive up to this spot because when I used to board bus, that was like 24-hour kind of journey.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving here, I think 15 hours
And
is
it's
enough,
pretty
right?
safe. It's
You understand what I'm
like,
saying? So, and I think even for you guys, now you're not suffering like when I met you last time, right?
Yeah, nah,
It's about time we stop putting words and holding other people accountable because you know
Yeah.
Kenya always doesn't understand why you should lower the price, right?
Yeah.
They assume maybe because you're traveling, you're loaded, you have all the money to spend, but essentially, we are young enough to dedicate this, right?
Yeah.
To do this, and even drive maybe all the way to I don't know the farthest part of this country, but you can go to Burundi and do a community outreach there.
Mhm.
Maybe you can go to Goma and
Yeah.
do a community outreach there because one thing I've realized that. And then thanks to Africa Stocking for making sure that I'm here. Thanks to Impact Masters for making sure that we get the right equipment to do this. Thanks to Atlassian also for playing a key role and committed to like even have a community here, which is an opportunity for you guys. So I'll be looking for leaders on Thursday to run that. So you have even more communities, as you're saying. Africa Ruby community, the chairman is here, Bernard Banta. You also want to have a community. We tried to do that with the chief here. But the follow-up was not that great because people didn't meet, and all that. But if you are committed to do this, and I'm asking this to even members, because even as an organizer, if I organize an event and no one shows up, you see?
Yeah.
And
You
that's
get
not to say that
discouraged.
I've never organized events and no one shows up. We have ever organized events and no one shows up. But that does not mean you stop.
Yeah.
You go on organizing until
Yeah.
the right people start showing up, and community is all about like, hey, this community is awesome. You can learn 1, 2, 3 things. Please join us this time, and even encourage our sisters because we need them to know how to write code, maybe know how to design, maybe know how to do data science models and all that. So it's a collective effort to say the least. And then the companies, let's fund some of these initiatives. You understand?
Yeah.
And with time now, all these effort will join together. And you'll see when the economy thriving, you'll see more proper engineers, you'll see more startups, you'll see funding following that pipeline. But let's not do with the end in mind. Let's do for now. What do you want to do? Me, I just want to share knowledge.
Yeah.
I want to meet awesome people like Salvi, who maybe I meet next time. I don't know.
And there'll be
You understand?
CEOs.
You understand? And I've seen also people do this for the wrong things. The wrong mentality. Like, I want to do this, get a job. I want to do this, maybe, I don't know, as a business. I want to do this. But if we just do it because, we have a responsibility.
Yes.
Maybe our forefathers went to fight colonizers, right?
Yeah.
Some of them died. They left their family. And nothing they got from it beside you being free.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right now, there is no forest to go and fight
Yeah.
in. We need to fight what?
The
Poverty.
different battles. Yes,
We need to fight what? Corruption. And the only way we can do that is the sharing knowledge, is building solutions, is creating opportunities. So it was good chatting with you. And those who are listening, our event, which is partly workshop, partly hackathon, is at Norsken, Kigali, Norsken House Kigali.
Yeah.
Awesome space, by the way. If you're in Kigali, if you're planning to come to Kigali, if you're in Burundi, I think it's a drive, 2 hours or 3 hours?
It's 3 hours.
3 hours drive. Come and join us. We would love to be in Burundi maybe next time. We'll have to be in Malawi, Zambia, DRC. But please, guys, be patient. We love you and would like to reach out to you. But for this one, we'll be in Kigali on 13th October 2022 from 8 p.m. till late. We have a lot of prizes, a lot of skills to share. best engineers in the world will be here to share that knowledge. The best community lead, actually developer community expert, who is Michael Kimathi or MK, will be here with you, trying to share his knowledge, trying to build more communities, trying to show you how this journey works. We'll have people like Graham Muhanga, we'll have Bwana Kweli, we'll have Chief. You'll be in Nairobi, right?
I'll be in Nairobi.
Unfortunately, we'll have Salvi, Jean. We'll have more other developers joining us, and want us to build and run around this. So if you are here, get your ticket. It's free of charge. There will be food, there will be some drinks, and many more opportunities. But don't be motivated by all these shenanigans. Come for the knowledge and skill.
Like developers, you ask them, like, can you come to the event? And like,
is there food? Yes. Okay, the food will be there, but don't come for
give them
food.
like a glimpse if there are going to be zombies, sambusas.
No, this is proper food. Yes, proper food.
Hey,
yes, we are trying to eat healthy, remain healthy. So please show up, but I will insist. Come for the food, go with the knowledge, but mostly come for the knowledge. You'll not get this anywhere else. Let me repeat, you'll not get this anywhere else. If you are listening, make time. If you are working, you're an engineer, tell your boss, tell your CTO, or even come with your CTO. That day, maybe I should talk to His Excellency Paul Kagame. There's that day you guys clean the city. What is the name? Muganda. You should have a Muganda that day on the 10th. Everyone, if you are techie, okay, not everyone who is a techie, but you come to Nosken, let's build, let's share knowledge, let's have a good time, let's even share our experiences working for Bank of Kigali and working for Nigerian startup and working for Micro. I know there are guys who work for Andela here. It's about time you come and share that knowledge, or also even meet other developers in the ecosystem. Africa's Talking team will be here, interact with them, maybe even understand what they do as a business. Also, because we are just having fun empowering developers. That's the baseline. The rest actually just happens. So please join us. And without further ado, thank you so much for joining us. Unless you have a parting shot. Even a quote, even a book. The genius doesn't want to share the knowledge for the first time.
I think that people know me. I know
people know you.
People know you.
We are sorry. People know you.
You know, like every developer in Kigali, I think we have met in one way or another. Like in events, space. Those kind of stuff. So if you guys want to build this tech ecosystem in Kigali, come join these events.
Yes.
There will be some, people you may meet and be like life-changing people for you. Sharing knowledge, have that conversation with someone who inspired you. That's the whole point of like these tech events. Just meet people and talk to whoever inspired you, whoever you feel like is playing more important role in tech ecosystem. And make connections. And most of them, if you have something to share with someone or the community, just don't be shy. Start sharing it now. Start showing off. Do this for the rest of the generation to come. Thank you so much. Start encouraging like everyone around Kigali, developer, make a time, come to Nosken, join us.
Thank you so much, Salvi. Yes, Chief.
I would just thank Africa's Talking for having me, but I also want to say that this is an exciting time to be in East Africa, especially. I think I'm so biased on East Africa.
To be in Africa.
To be in Africa. and it's an exciting time. I don't think you also have to be like a software engineer to come. You could just be curious. You could be a UX.
But that's a good thing.
A UI.
Yes, because we'll also be learning how to work in teams. Like you had this guy saying, as an engineer, you need to close issues. Now you ask which issues? People know issues in relationships, right? No, this is Jira. This is Jira. There are things like Bitbucket. Things like Trello, things like Jira Service Management. Those are the tools of trade.
Yes.
Beside coding, you have to understand how to work with other teams. So all these are being shared in this event. If you're a team manager, if you're a product manager, if you're a project manager, if you're a CEO, if you're a founder, you are welcome. All you just need to do, head to Atlassian Community Nairobi website. The first event there that is happening on 13 is Atlassian Community Workshop in Kigali. Get a ticket, or go to Africa Stocking Community, get a ticket. The first event there is Africa Stocking Workshop Mini Summit Kigali. Get a ticket. So you have no excuse. Also on our Twitter handle at Africa Stocking, the event is shared there. On our Twitter handle at AC Nairobi, which is Atlassian Community Nairobi, the event is shared there. The links are there. Just get yourself a ticket and join us. Please finish.
Yeah, I would just wanted to say it's an exciting time to be in Africa.
Yeah.
I want you to encourage you to meet as many, especially in the tech space.
Yeah.
Anything you do, whether you're a PO, product owner, product manager, software engineer, UX, UI.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be contributing. It's an exciting time to come together and innovate.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. This was amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. And this is Impact Masters Podcast, Africa Stocking Podcast, in collaboration with developers in Rwanda doing amazing moves. Guys who are referred to as geniuses, and amongst other, recording our story, especially on tech ecosystem, and creating our own story going forward. Until next time, thank you so much. It's your host, Michael Kimathi, or MK if you want. Until next time, bye.